Okay, hello and welcome to this chat, which will be on active versus passive immunity. This is something that you need to know in order to go through your boards. So this is going to be under health prevention. It's an important concept which can be kind of confusing when you thoroughly understand it, so I wanted to make this video on it to help everyone. So, active and passive are both types of acquired immunity. It means that your body has produced a cell that responds to an antigen when it enters the body. Antigens are these little guys that stick off of cells like viruses and bacteria. And antigens are even on environmental things like pollen and those kinds of things. So, passive is mostly maternal, and active is something that you make on your own. You made the immunity. A little bit more about what happens. So the B cells are the memory cells, and they are made to memorize a specific antigen. T cells are fighter cells, and they are not specialized. The T cells turn into B cells, which are then specialized. So active immunity, the most common type of active immunity is your own body responding to a disease process. You see this sick little girl right here. We're talking about kids are much more likely to get sick when they're younger. Well, why is that? It's because they don't have this active immunity down pat. Once they've seen a couple different types of strep throat, they're going to stop getting it. This is why when you send your kids to preschool or daycare or kindergarten, they get sick a lot at first. Then, as they grow and get older, they don't get sick that much. You know, there's still going to be the occasional, but we're talking for a child, you know, could be 5 to 10 upper respiratory viruses a year, and for an adult, we're really thinking more like at most 2. There are vaccines that produce active immunity. These are vaccines that are going to be either live or attenuated vaccines. The most common one that you want to think of with this is going to be influenza. The flu shot every year is live attenuated, which means that the cell that comes into the body is not a whole cell, it's broken up into little pieces. Think of it as a cell that's fallen asleep entering the body. So it's not quite as dangerous as a live cell, but it is a part of a cell, and your body still reacts as if it is that part. Polio is a live attenuated. Some of you guys might remember when this first came out, we placed it on a sugar cube because it was live. Measles, mumps, and rubella is live. This is why we don't give that immunization to pregnant women. When a child has no history of chickenpox, we go ahead and give them the live attenuated varicella zoster. Hepatitis A is sometimes live attenuated. Yellow fever is live attenuated. This is why you have to usually go to the health department to get this. It's very costly to keep in a regular practice. Tuberculosis we do not do, but a lot of other countries do, and that's live attenuated. So what is passive? Passive is going to be first brought to the baby through the mother's antibodies. The blood is being shared through the placenta and goes through the baby's umbilicus and circulates. This gives the baby some passive immunity. This is good because when it comes out, it's going to have exposure to a lot of things. We would not be as good as keeping babies healthy as we are had it not had this passive immunity. But there is a disadvantage to it. The passive immunity only lasts so long. This is why we really recommend keeping babies in the house for a period of time. This is why we really recommend if anybody's sick or has a cold, don't keep it around the baby. They do have some passive immunity, but it's not a lot. Then also breastfeeding. I'm talking especially the first few feeds, which we call colostrum, are going to be very, very helpful in passive immunity. It's one of the huge advantage over bottle feeding, formula feeding. Well, if you put breast milk from the mom into a bottle, that would be fine. And then in some countries we have moms that will breastfeed other people's babies. That's also fine. We just want to consider that they're going to get some other types of immunities that way. And then there are some vaccines that are passive immunity. This is not going to be your regular run-of-the-mill vaccine because in order to do passive immunity, we need to have made a response with another animal and then injecting it. The most common example of this is hepatitis immunoglobulin. Also snake venoms. So if you get bit by a snake and go to the hospital, it's very unlikely that they will have an antidote to treat you for your snake bite. Because it's just so expensive to make. Basically what they have to do is they have to have a snake that has the immunity, and then they have to harvest it and collect its cells. It's very, very costly. Some hospitals do keep it, like large teaching facilities. However, they're only going to have one dose. So we have to call in a dose if somebody comes in needing snake venom antidote. Some people who have decreased immunity capacities do receive routine passive immunity because they might not be able to, in someone with AIDS or cancer, they might not be able to create active immunity. All right, so that's been your quick overview. I'm just going to take 1 second to tell you one more time. All immunities are acquired that we're talking about. Passive is from an animal, mostly through breastfeeding and in the placenta. Active is going to be something that your body produces in response to an antigen. All right, hope that helped. Bye.